We got Sorcerer next. Sorcerer's in a really weird spot. I forgot about lunar magic. Holy. Okay, depending on which print of Dragonlance you got, this one is either broken and non-functional, or it is like somewhere around here. Okay, if you got the first round of prints from Dragonlance, this is actually they have text in here that does not work. It's not even printed as they intended it to work. Most like, well, because Dragonlance, they haven't been selling enough copies of it, and we know that they have a lot that's in some weird warehouse or whatever. You most likely have a first print. Yeah. What happened? So whenever Lunar Magic was first originally printed, they how the moon cycle thing was going to work, and it actually had an impact on all of the sorcerer's features. It was like there's a phase thing where, oh yeah, that's right. It also was a lunar magic sorcerer that didn't get moonbeam. Yeah. Yeah, we can skip right to the vine. Yeah, we'll talk about it. The original text includes, it's like, there's a thing where if you cast a spell from a certain spell school, you can like either shift or it does impact based off of what phase of the moon you're in, or you can shift the phase, something like that. It listed the same. It doesn't have moonbeam. Yeah, no, it doesn't have moonbeam, and it has no way of getting access to it. It doesn't get moonbeam. It doesn't get moonbeam. Lunar magic is right there on the fucking 10, and they just didn't give it to it. Why? Like, what the fuck? Why? I don't get it. I don't get what they were thinking. So not only that, this one suffered from Dragonlance being not just rushed out the door, they fucking sent hounds after it to chase it out of the fucking building. This book was so goddamn rushed, and this character option was one of the only character option things that they had released for the entire fucking year, and it still went out the door with problems. And it gets a free casting issue, yeah, but like there are issues. Hang on, let me pull up the typo. Oh, that's Wally's video. You just call Moonbeam Space Laser? Hell yeah. I'm going to call it that from now on. Okay, Wally, can you fill in my fans and what happened?
And different lunar features, and that's going to lead us to our second ability called Lunar Boons. So with this feature, the current phase of your lunar embodiment can affect your meta magic feature. Each lunar embodiment phase is associated with certain schools of magic as shown here. So with full moon, it's going to be abjuration and divination spells. With new moon, it's going to be enchantment and necromancy spells. And with crescent moon, it's going to be illusion and transmutation spells. Now, for those of you that do have the hardback or the physical copy of the book, I believe the books have a misprint when it comes to the schools of magic. So I do believe that we are currently looking at the correct schools of.
Yeah, and they updated it on D&D Beyond, but like they sent out the first print with a bunch of typos. It wasn't just this. It wasn't just a Lunar Boons thing. There was another area of it that was also affected by it. And it was like, what? Guys, slow down. Slow down how many books that you're making every year. Because like, it's pretty clear that you guys are rushing content out there. And like, oh man. Yeah, they corrected it basically like that same day on D&D Beyond, but it went out with the typos. Actually, yes. I got it because it got sent to me for free, motherfuckers. All right. No, there it is. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I don't know how you can see this. How do I get on this list of free things? I exposed a lie that they put out into the industry. Okay. See, it says abjuration and divination, and then evocation and necromancy, and then divination and transmutation. The divination, the second divination is a misprint. And because that one didn't get caught by the fucking editor, there are some aspects of the subclass that are non-functional. So I got that one because I went to the summit because I was the guy that dropped the OGL leak back in November. And because of that, Wizards was like, oh yeah, if we don't give this guy an invite, people are going to think that we're the shitheads we are. And they sent me a box of stuff, and that was part of the box. Lunar Magic. If you have the first print of Dragonlance, this is broken and non-functional. Okay. And that phase thing, there are things that actually do depend on that text actually working. All right. If you get it on D&D Beyond, I guess it's in C because it doesn't get Moonbeam, and that's such a huge flavor fail. Look, the fact that they don't get Moonbeam, like it might be a decent one. I fucking hate it. All right, I'm just gonna move it down here. All right, cool. Now, I'm surprised they sent me a free thing and not the Pinkertons. Yeah, I know, right? Let's talk about the ones that right to the fucking Shadow Realm with you. Oh God, Clockwork Soul. Yeah. Holy shit, this fucking trance. Oh my God, this fucking trance. This is so ridiculous here. And that's before even talking about what you can do with it early on. All right. Bastion of Law. Okay, so there's a combo that happens in here that, like, I think over time, here's my deal. Practically, this is probably not as ridiculous as I think it is, but the fact that this can happen, I think is a problem. I don't think that these spells were designed this way. Here's the big problem, okay? Notice that with Clockwork Magic, we started getting a unique thing that was going on with them, right? They did start expanding out Sorcerer's palette of spells, except they did this and they did this right here. Oh wait, no, this and this right here, okay? There is a particular abjuration spell that was designed to only be in the hands of Warlock that they royally fumbled this on, all right? If you get Armor of Agathis with this Clockwork Soul Sorcerer, there is a certain interaction that I don't believe should be allowed for the game. You go over in the Bastion of Law, and then you get this ward on yourself. Oh, it's reducing the damage by the D8s, that's right. Whenever you take the damage, your Armor of Agathis spell will trigger and cause the damage to your enemies, and you reduce the damage you take by the D8s, not even tapping into the temporary hit points. So because of that, you can just go out there and like spike everything, and Agathis is going to hit them without any damage being dealt to you. You are getting so much more out of that spell than what is very clearly intended for that spell to do. My suggested fix is if you want this to be allowed to work, the thing that I really, really recommend, so the Abjuration Clockwork Sorcerer, this is, because if you go Abjuration Wizard, you get that ward as well, and it can just make that spell completely overperform. I wouldn't dip if you're going to make this work, okay? If the very big intention is for you to get these as like 9th level spells and you want to make this work, couple of things that are going on with this. I think you're probably going to want to invest more into Sorcerer. You're going to use Bastion of Law. You're going to grab Armor of Agathis. Most likely get some kind of... you still want things to hit you in melee. I think there was one with... what was it? Goliath. Goliath has the damage reduction built into their race their race stuff. You can go Spike Grenade Goliath whatever by constantly reducing the damage you take, and you dish the Agathis damage out to everybody. And the crazy thing about Agathis is it's one of the very few instances in the game where we have flat damage being dealt. It's not a die that's happening here. It is flat 5, right? Per level that you cast the spell at. So ultimately, if you cast it at like 9th level, it's 45 flat damage anytime they take the damage. And you just keep constantly reducing it with this Bastion or whatever. Now, is this a practical tactic? Not really. But yeah, see, no save as well. It will do the damage to them. My thing is, I'm not saying that this is a completely practical thing to do. I think that it's a ridiculous tactic that does actually technically work, rules as written. And I think rules as intended, the way that it should be. Here's how you fix it right here. Easy fix, okay? Armor of Agathis caps at 5th level. You do that, I'm fine. Anybody can take Armor of Agathis at that point. Let them do it to it. That spell is not designed to be taken by a full caster. It's designed for a class. That's why it's a Warlock exclusive. It's designed for a class that only gets access to spell slots of 1st to 5th level. That's why Warlock can't cast stuff up with our Mystic Arcanum, anything like that. Agathis is terrifying. Oh yeah, in Shatterkai, Agathis, yeah. Like, oh my God. Yeah. That's the crazy shit that you can do with Clockwork Soul. On top of all that, this is an anti-failure. This is a complete anti-failure subclass. Any attack roll as a 10. So you're telling me as a charisma caster, I can't roll. If someone forces me to make a charisma saving throw, I can't roll below a 20 at any point. If someone forces me to make a wisdom saving throw, I guess I'm not really rolling below a, let's just say like a 17. Okay, so I got all these flat ones right in here. All of my attack rolls are easily going to be a 20 to a 21 here in a couple levels. This is unacceptable. Like this is ridiculous. Yeah, crazy strong sorcerer that requires way too much work to bring this into any kind of a reasonable balance. You could scrap this one entirely, and I think that the game would be better for it. Honestly, absolutely honestly, the game would definitely be in a healthier state for it. Draconic bloodline. All right, let's start off from the left and go over. It needs more spells. It needs expanded spell list. Yeah, it does fall off. At the practical levels, this one's pretty all right. The capstone is so bad. Let me try to remember what... Is it the wings? No. Ooh. Oh, I forgot. Ooh, I don't know what I was remembering there. You don't take that sorcerer all the way up to 18th level. You multi-class the fuck out of that as soon as you can. I'm gonna put that in the top of D though. That capstone is really bad. Yeah, you just don't take it all the way up to level 20. You don't. That I don't know what I was remembering instead. Look, there's so many draconic subclasses in this game. You gotta give me some slack there. Okay, wild magic. Hang on, let's just do this one real quick. Oh, I'm so tempted. I'm so fucking tempted to put this one down in here. All right, let me talk about why wild magic is an F. I think that any subclass option that you take that can potentially nuke your entire party should not be in the game. I don't care how low the chance is, but the fact that you can just self-fireball you and your entire party, that needs to be gotten rid of. That's not chaotic funny, that is disruptive funny. It needs a different wild magic table. If you give it a different wild magic table, I think that wild magic sorcerer is actually probably close to C. It also needs an expanded spell list. This is not a cooperative subclass option made for a game that is a cooperative role-playing game. You know, this is a team building game. You know what? If it was self-fireball, but like it couldn't kill you and your buddies, like maybe it's fine. Maybe, but like the fact that it can just like nuke your entire party off like, you know, second, third level, whatever. Wild magic sorcerer can just completely self-combust all the way up until I want to say like, I think it's 7th level. Like, and then on average, the sorcerer is actually surviving that. But until then, you're a ticking time bomb. And that's, I think that we can get rid of the really negative stuff out of the wild magic table without killing the wild magic sorcerer, without killing the heart of it. We can keep the random effects, and that's fine. And that, yeah, we can absolutely do that. We can't. I think that it's worse than Berserker for the one interaction that could happen in which it kills your whole party. For 5e, I think that this one, it needs a rework. And all you really have to do to it, if you give it a different wild magic table, honestly, I think wild magic sorcerer is probably bottom of the barrel B. But with the current wild magic table, I never want to play at a table where there is I think it's like a point, or it's like a 0.7 maybe % chance or whatever that like the wild magic sorcerer just fucking explodes. I'm good. Like, yeah, because of like the chance of it happening, Berserker knows it's going to wind up offing itself. And like, this is just not put together. It's just not put together. Wild magic, I guess there's some redeeming factors in it, you know? Yeah. You don't think you've ever played a game without using a third-party wild magic table? Yeah. If you use a different wild magic table, this is actually probably a decent subclass. It would need more spells. Yeah, it would need more spells to it. As it currently sits, yeah. Now, let's go with a good one. Let's go with a shining example of what sorcerer has the potential to be. Yep. Yeah. I think Divine Soul probably, this is, in my opinion, this should be where sorcerer should be aiming to hit. Sorcerer, especially with Divine Soul and what all you can do with meta magic and the stuff that's on the cleric spell list, I love how just that one change of you being able to get spells that are on the cleric spell list makes this just an incredibly evocative sorcerer. This makes you think in completely different ways about how you play that class, shifting over a role to give you access to the divine like spells and everything. So goddamn good. Every single beat for beat, it's not just the fact that this is a godly or angelic sorcerer. No, it actually reinforces this idea that no, the fates just fucking love you. Like, that's why they get like features about luck in there, right? That's why they're getting this like favored by the gods thing or what the hell ever. Yeah, like there are great narrative beats happening all throughout Divine Soul. This is hitting on a lot of classic fantasy tropes, and it's doing so. Yeah, twinning a heal spell, like fucking so cool. Oh my god, this is so good. This sorcerer has so plot armor sorcerer. Yeah, right. This sorcerer is the main character. And holy fuck, it's such a cool subclass. This is my favorite sorcerer in all of 5e, for sure. Absolutely, yeah. It's just so potent, and that one feature alone carries so much weight. It's so fucking good, yeah. And if you really do want to play like an unconventional healer for the party, I'm so happy they added this to the game. I wish they would have pursued the Theurge a little bit more. Benjamin Huffman fixed it for them. It is such an interesting idea to have a Theurge wizard in the game. It's an Ultimate Adventurer's Handbook. It is, to me, I want to play that concept so goddamn bad. I just love the idea of the healer wizard. There's something so cool in there. How'd you get my wizard, or how'd you get your magic? Oh, my dad banged an angel. Yep, Divine Soul. There you go. Storm Sorcery is not terrible, actually. I know not a lot of people really talk about it, but this is not a really bad subclass. You get a disengage thing baked into whenever you cast. It's a bonus action on your turn. Immediately before or after you cast a spell of first level or higher, fly up to 10 feet without provoking opportunity attacks. You get a nice little woof away from it, right? Not bad. Not bad. This other feature is kind of meh. This is going to fall off here recently because of what they did with the Sorcerer in Tasha's. And for the record, I know I talk a lot of shit about Tasha's. I like the general ideas of what they were doing with expanded spells for Sorcerer in that book. I actually think that Sorcerer did a pretty decent job in the overall, Wizards of the Coast did a pretty decent job with the overall replanning of what a Sorcerer chassis was going to look like, despite the fact that Clockwork Soul is in that book. Oh, yeah, so this is like that, like, I cast this spell, and then suddenly lightning just arcs out at everything around me. Fucking cool. You can subtly control the weather around you. I love whenever they do shit like this. Oh, it would have been fun to see even more. Like, yes, lean in on this. The sorcerer can fuck up the environment. Please give me that DBZ style. Like, I am going to turn into a Super Saiyan and cause lightning around me. Yes, fucking sick. Yes. Storm Guide. Windspeaker and Storm Guide is just not functional. It needs more spells. We need to get more lightning and thunder spells. This is not functional. You gain resistance to lightning and thunder damage, and whenever you start casting a spell of first level or higher that deals lightning or thunder damage, stormy magic erupts around you. The eruption causes creatures of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of you take lightning or thunder damage. Choose each time this ability activates equal to half your sorcerer level. The only problem here for me is that it's 10 feet of you. And if it were maybe, I mean, we know that Sorcerer is a backliner, but like, this seems pretty okay with getting into the middle of it and maybe doing some popping in and out. This isn't non-functional. This is a ribbon feature, but it's a really good one. You can actually find ways to get some mechanical benefits out of Storm Guide. It may be a ribbon feature in terms of like, is it doing anything in combat? Maybe not, but like, you could maybe make an argument that this should get rid of some effects that say that it gets lost in a wind or something. Yeah, whatever. Anything that just straight up causes water to rain down will have an effect. Like, you can figure out a way for this to work out for you in a way that provides a mechanical benefit. I think that's fair. This is already really good. Getting resistance to lightning and thunder damage, that's pretty decent overall. This other effect in here isn't really going to trigger too much. I'll agree with that. I think if this were any bigger, it may start causing some problems, but it's here. I don't think that's the main bread and butter here, you know? I don't think we necessarily need to give you spell power here, but like giving you a little bit of like narrative oomph, that's fine, you know? I think that this is pretty all right. The weird thing to me is just how much they reinforce this idea. It seems to want you to be a Gish, but you don't get any defenses to help out with that. You get this flying speed, makes you want to feel like a backliner. Everything about this is saying backliner, 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 except for the features that are like 10 feet away from you, 10 feet, or harasser. Did they do this because of shocking grasp? Did they do this to make sure that... And I've never seen anybody play a Storm Sorcerer. Did they do this simply because shocking grasp is the expectation for the cantrip? It is. I think that it is setting you up to do shocking grasp the whole time. It should have given you shocking grasp way off the bat then. You have no idea. You play like 3 levels into this and said screw it and switch classes. It's not terrible. It needs to give you shocking grasp. It needs to give you... I don't want to say more health. Oh man, I'm not sure. I feel like if you're a sorcerer and you don't have this feature right here, and you are just running up there, they need more movement speed. At the very least, they need more movement speed somewhere in here. Or they just need a lightning cantrip that isn't shocking grasp. I think, honestly, actually, I wouldn't play it now. Now that I'm thinking about that, I no longer really feel like this one is actually kind of okay. Now that I'm seeing all that and really kind of processing what all is going on, they wanted to give you shocking grasp, but they're relying on you seeing what all is going on in order to actually do that and hoping that you think, aha, lightning damage. And you don't immediately go, I should pick up Ray of Frost, right? They just need to give you shocking grasp in here. It should probably give you thunderclap. No, I mean, maybe, why not both? Languages don't mean dick. So like, give me the cantrips that are going to be required for it, you know? Yeah, I actually would say that Storm Sorcery is worse off than Draconic Bloodline now. I went from feeling like that was pretty all right to immediately seeing why nobody talks about it. Yeah, it's like, I know I read through all of these, and it's crazy how even though I do a lot of work in the D&D community, this is just, this one doesn't come up. It's crazy how I just completely fucking forget about it. And then Tempest Cleric. Oh, yeah, if you want to play Thor, don't roll up a Storm Sorcery. Don't roll up a Storm Sorcerer. Don't roll up a Storm Herald Barbarian. You roll up a goddamn Tempest Domain Cleric is what you do. Shadow. Okay, Shadow Magic. I've looked at this one. I've had it on my table twice. I've never personally played it. See how they get darkness, and then you spend 2 sorcery points, and then they get to see through the darkness. And Shadow Monk couldn't. And yeah, this gives you something pretty decent early on, which is essentially Undead Fortitude. You get the Hound of Ill Omen, which kind of comes from out of nowhere. It is a sick idea. It doesn't feel like it's super core into playing out this subclass. The dog is funny. All right. The dog, yeah. Sure. Right. Oh, geez. Hey, thanks for the $5. Dragoon of Kiri. Hey, thank you. First features for Storm doesn't work with cantrips. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, you would really hope that shocking grass popped off. Ooh. That's really not good. Yeah, I do actually. Man, that's that bad. Boy, wow, it's crazy. I haven't really seriously, like, this was never an exciting one. Like, if I did a video on it on my channel, if I did a video on anything that's in this list, I feel pretty confident about like the research I did on it. And I never looked into Storm Sorcery. I never did a video on it. Never had anybody playing it at any of my tables. This one completely flew under the radar. This is really bad. This is a terrible subclass, it turns out. Despite the features actually looking pretty good, I'm shocked at how rough that one is. Yeah, complete 180. That is crazy. Was that in Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide? I thought that was in Xanthar's. Was that in Skag? It was in Xanth. Okay, yeah, I was like, wait, what? They reprinted it? So it was originally in Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Oh my God, that explains so much. So it wasn't the Xanathar's design team, it was Green Ronin. Okay, so yes, back to dog. Shadow magic. So the Hound is fun. It's a cute thing. You get the Shadow Walk teleport like you already get with Shadow Monk, right? 6 sorcery points to transform into a shadowy form. In this form, you have resistance to all damage, except force and radiant damage. And you can move through creatures as if they were difficult terrain. You get the incorporeal movement while you're doing all this stuff as well. You can remain in that form. 1 minute of incorporeal movement is not terrible. If this had gotten expanded spells into it, I would say that this one's probably... This is actually kind of nice on a sorcerer. That is safety. Or by radiant damage. Boy, that is a total fucking non-issue as far as 5e goes. Oh my god. What's the dog doing? Hey, Amelia, what are you doing? You want to tell the internet? Hello. How are you? Yeah? You see her? Hey. You with the face. Yeah? So there's a lot of flavor happening with this one. I think that Shadow is a very fun idea. I like what this one's throwing out in general. I do think that if it were redesigned today, it would have gotten an expanded spell list. And there would have been a bit of a beefy bump to this capstone right here. Hell, they may have even moved the incorporeal movement up to 14th. I think that this one's an easy A. Yes. Yep. Yeah. I think that's probably about right. I think that Shadow Magic probably needs to go sandwiched in between Arcana and Tempest. Why do I think we never got a Sorcerer Gish? Literally every other spellcaster has one. We almost did. We almost got like there was like an Earth or Stone Sorcerer subclass that was in the Honored Arcana that they were trying to aim at getting into like Gish territory. But as it turns out, there's a couple things that you really need for Gish. There we go. Okay. So Stone was very close to getting in on that, but like it would have required quite a bit of work in order. It would have required too much feature support really early on to make it to where Sorcerer in particular could do the Gish thing super easily. But there are third-party Gish like sorcerers out there. One of the ones that I think Ross and Benjamin did was it was like a warrior soul sorcerer, which was super interesting, and that was an Ultimate Adventurer's Handbook. There's definitely third-party support for it. It's just there's nothing official. You know what I mean? Aberrant Mind, I remember being quite damn good. Because yeah, they're getting Mind Sliver. Yep. Hang on, Amelia. Hang on a second. Mind Sliver, telepathic speech. Do this and yes. Revelation in Flesh. First off, fucking sick ass feature name. Second, the fact that you can spend 1 or more sorcery points to just gain all of these features. I really dig what they were doing with that. It does feel more alien to do this, but I think that all sorcerers would have benefited from like a feature feeling very similar to this right here. And then you get this fucking gravity bomb thing, right? Yeah, the 3d10 force damage and pulled into the... Yeah, I like the control happening in there. This is the mobility that we're used to getting. The psionic stuff, yeah, sure. It doesn't require verbal or somatic components. Yep. So you get a little bit of the subtle spell happening in there. The telepathic speech stuff is kind of whatever. And then there's spell list, Dissonant Whispers, Arms of Hadar, Detect Thoughts, Calm Emotions. This one is... The only question is, where does it go in S? The spell list is pretty all right. Yeah. Meta Magic subclass feature sounds like it should be the buildup of the Sorcerer subclasses. It usually is. We typically see a unique use for sorcery points at 6th level. I think I feel good about Aberrant Mind putting it like right in here. Although I could slot that over here in front of Forge and probably be able to sleep at night.